back to another week of Flopbuster. Clearly, we are back up to 3 people. Okay? He's
What's
back.
going on, chicos?
Welcome back, man.
Thank you. It was a long week that I had to get peaceful,
Period.
and right back at it.
Awesome. We are back. We are ready to get things started. It's the Flopbuster Movie Show live. We're going to run down the movie news. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot to catch up with Gabe. At the end, we'll talk about movies that we've been watching too, of course, and what we've seen. I know Gabe's been watching some stuff. But without further ado, Victoria, what happened this week at the box office?
A lot. Right. So clearly, Elvis is rounding out the top because it did come out last Friday. 31.2 million. Top Gun's still holding strong, and it has hit 1 billion. We're going to talk about that later, I think. But for the last weekend, it hit 29.6 million. Jurassic World Dominion, 26.7 million. The Black Phone, which also came out last week, 23.6 million. And at the bottom, we have Lightyear at a still pretty good 18.2 million. All right. So, I don't know. You guys want to talk about Elvis and Black Phone?
Well, there's a few things to talk about. Gabe, you caught up on the Black Phone. You have not seen Elvis yet.
I have not seen Elvis. In fact, I've seen the Black Phone twice now, including today, in theaters. But Elvis, I have not caught up with it. I don't know if I will, to be honest.
Yeah, you said you're not really a fan of Elvis, so you might not check it out. It was good. No. I think as far as biopics go, it's like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, right? Like what can you do at this point that isn't different than before? I think what this movie does is it at least portrays the character in that sort of story in such a crazy way. It's Baz Luhrmann. Everything he does is so over stylistic, and it works for this movie. And that performance works. Austin Butler makes a star-making performance. And it also helps that, like, looking at these numbers, I feel like for the first time since 2019 that the box office is officially back. Because it's not front-loaded. There isn't one movie where it's just like everybody went to go see that and then went home for the next 2 weeks until the next Marvel movie comes out. It's Elvis had an audience. Top Gun still has an audience all these weeks later. Lightyear, not performing great, but it still has an audience. The Black Phone coming in at number 4, 23 million at the number 4 spot is pretty good. It's really good on a $16 million budget. And we also have Jurassic World Dominion still kicking around and staying in that top 5. So to me, like, that's the bigger story here is that top 5, there's a little bit of something for everybody. If you go to the movies right now, there's something that you can see and enjoy.
No, absolutely. I think it's a testament, right? It's as far as what Hollywood's doing right now, that we're in the middle of the summer blockbuster, and there is no Marvel, no DC superhero movie that's like overtaking the box office. There's Jurassic Park and Pixar and stuff like that, but to see Top Gun there, it's a sequel from 30 years ago, to see the Black Phone, which is original horror story movie to be told that hold down $20 million. It's just amazing to see in the box office.
Yeah, and I read something, and it might have been Variety or Deadline, one of them, where the only for the box office to survive is if the older crowd comes back to the movies. And I think Top Gun brought back a lot of people who weren't going in the movies because of the coronavirus. And now we're seeing what Elvis, which I didn't think would be number 1 at the box office at 31 million. That's damn good for a biopic. People are coming back, and they want to come back, and they want to see everything, which it's got me really excited over a couple of things we're going to talk about on the show, a couple of genres that weren't working within the past few years, that were just going straight to streaming. Now we're seeing movies that normally go to a streamer. Now they're popping up back in the box office. You can see them on the big screen again.
Listen, let's just curtail back to talk about Elvis because it's not, straight out of Compton opening numbers, all right?
Oh, it did 10 million more. It did 10 million more. That was it.
No, I was at work today, and I was at a gas station buying my morning stuff, and one of the cashiers was talking to another coworker, and she's like, "Oh, I can't wait to go to the movies tonight." And we have this show, and I was like, "Oh yeah, what movie are you gonna go see?" And I looked at her. She was like an older lady in her like 50s or 60s, right? Not that they're older, but whatever. But she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see Elvis." I was like, "All right, that's expected. What type of crowd
That
Elvis
makes
is?"
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's a lot of dad movies out. There's Elvis. There's Top Gun. A lot of people going with the families and whatnot. But I think that's exciting because now I think studios are going to take chances again. And we're just from the news roundup that we have for the show, we're seeing movies that normally I would go, huh? I'm surprised that's not on Amazon Prime or Hulu. It's coming straight out into theaters. So that's the box office. So
I went to go see Top Gun because of Miles Teller.
Everybody's trying to be Miles Teller now. My little brother is in the Navy, and he FaceTime me, tell me that he's gonna emulate his look because everybody in the base is trying to emulate his look.
I hope your brother starts working out, pumping that iron.
Well, he's got to if he's on the base. So I hope that works out for him. Everybody trying to look like Miles Teller this summer. So he's become iconic.
I think we have some comments as well. It looks like.
What do we have in the comments? Who's all here? We have Mikey Munster. How's it going, Mikey?
Yeah.
Mia. Gabe got Batman tatted. He did. Gabe did get Batman tatted. Yadded. So let's move on to the news roundup. Victoria, what's the first main topic of the day?
Hold up. Hocus Pocus 2 teaser trailer. Did you see it, Gabe? I know Tony saw it on the channel. What do you guys think?
I'll let you go first, Gabe. What did you think of the teaser for this?
It reminded me of the Craft Light.
The second one?
No. Like the first one, with young girls trying to be witches and
magic and stuff,
doing magic and conjuring, and so it reminded me of what maybe the new one maybe should have tried to be. But I'm just glad all three witches are back. They made the first movie, so.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I was shocked by the trailer. I did a reaction on the channel. You all can see my thoughts there. But for the most part, I was just shocked how good it looks. How it looks like some real thought was put into this. And I know they got some real creatives involved, comedians to write the script. Sam Richardson's in the film. But it looks like it's still going to be tied to the first movie. Just this time, not just nostalgic, but also hopefully good as well. And I think Disney did such a great job with Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
So good.
And I think you liked it too, didn't you, Gabe?
I did.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was funny. So I think when it comes to the Disney Plus content and these revivals of nostalgic content, it seems like they have a grasp on the pulse of what's working and what's not. So I think this is going to be a really fun film come October.
It is. But you know me, right? I wouldn't be myself if I didn't have an issue with something, right? My issue is in the first movie, they said that they cannot touch hallowed ground, which is a cemetery. Right. And this sequel, it shows that they come up from the cemetery. So are they going back on their, I'm going to say not origin story, but they're going back on what they made canon the first time around, that they couldn't touch hallowed ground, and now they're coming from the graveyards?
It's true, because the trailer makes it seem like the kids resurrect them at the cemetery. It could be that the trailer's just edited in a strange way.
It could be. The trailer just makes it seem like they're resurrected through the cemetery. The ground breaks.
I totally forgot about that too.
And they come up. In the first movie, they said they couldn't touch hallowed ground. That's why they turned into stone. What's her face on was it Mary who was on the vacuum? When she touched cemetery ground, she turned into a stone.
Now I hear she's going to be on Roombas, like a pair of them.
Would that be more like Green Goblin on a Zumba, just flying around in a Zumba?
Just flying around in a Zumba. I think this looks fun. I think it looks like.
No, it does.
It's the perfect movie for Disney Plus. The first one wasn't something that would this huge hit. It did decent at the box office. So the fact that Disney is even going, there's a real interest in this sequel. Let's put it on our streamer. I think it's perfect for streaming.
Well, this is another sequel 30 years in the making. I think everybody who grew up with Hocus Pocus wanted a Hocus Pocus 2.
It's true.
Why didn't they gave us Halloween Town 2? You should have given us a Hocus Pocus before that. That's
true. I think it looks damn fun. I think all the ladies look great, especially Bette Midler. I'm excited to see coming back, do this. But all in all, I hope Doug Jones comes back. But it looks like it's going to be a really cool and true sequel to that first movie. And
are they bringing back the kids at all, in some sort of cameo capacity? Have you heard?
That's what I was wondering, but I haven't heard anything about that. It looks like it's an all new cast. So I think this might be their way of soft rebooting. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like every other legacy sequel that is kind of a reboot and kind of a sequel.
Right.
So, looks fun. I'm down for it.
I still need to see the first one.
What? Get out of here.
Victoria has not seen the first Hocus Pocus.
They didn't have Disney Channel in Canada.
Sacrilegious. Loses cinema card. All right, next topic of the day is we have some Thor Love and Thunder first-time reactions. Victoria, what do we got?
Where the hell did my docs go? All right. Leave this up because I'm going to talk about some reactions. So Thor Love and Thunder had a critic screening, and there's a few reactions. Kevin Pallawi from Yahoo said, Thor Love and Thunder is effing great. I think it's instantly one of my favorite Marvel movies. The journalist continued, to the surprise of no, Christian Bale is impossibly skin-crawlingly good. Immediate top-tier MCU villain, which I'm excited about also. Collider's Perry Nemiroff said, it's electric, a wacky high-energy delight with a cast full of aces crushing one scene after the next. Just a lot of people saying Christian Bale is unreal.
That's what I keep hearing. There's a handful of those reactions. We got that from IndieWire, so go over and check out IndieWire, see more reactions there. But it seems to be the case with most Marvel movies. The first handful of critics come out and really enjoyed the film. But I'm excited for Thor Love and Thunder. I thought Ragnarok was a hell of a good time. I really like what they're doing with Jane in this. I thought that was the character in the first two movies where that love story doesn't work. And it looks like they're like, you know what? Let's go get Natalie Portman back. There's a great storyline where Jane gets cancer and becomes the mighty Thor. Let's incorporate that into the movie. Get a great villain like Gore as Christian Bale, which is a huge get. So all these confirm something that I already knew. It's going to be a fun time.
So has any love story in the MCU ever worked? Because, they gave us glimpses of Jane and Thor. We thought Hawk was going to smash,
Black Widow, and then they totally forget about it.
They totally forget about it. And there's no, love story that completely has worked in the MCU. So hopefully this Lady Thor and Thor finally work things out.
Make it a happy ending. That's true. It's funny that you bring that up. I can't think of a couple in the MCU that truly gets a happy ending. Maybe Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is something, because their relationship for the most part happens off screen, and then by the time we get to the second movie, that it's established already that they're together.
Right, but they sort of break up though.
Yeah.
By the time all the Endgame and Avengers, Infinity Wars all happen, it's sort of are they together still? Are they not? It's just just what it is.
That's the only one I can think of, but I think here it's going to work, and I think that's the plan, is to send off these films on a happy note. But I also hear that there's a good tease for whatever Thor 5 is, and I that would be crazy. If
I'm hoping it's Fat Thor and me for
Fat Thor and Gabe on adventures, and that's the title card. That's how the title card looks.
Fat Thor
and Gabe, and you guys are just best friends, and you guys go do whatever it is that you want to do.
I love some Fat Thor.
Well, I think he gets in shape at least by the end of this movie. So I guess we'll see.
But you know what? If he gets with Lady Thor, you add those relationship pounds on, so he could get fat again. He
could get fat again. I mean, if you get this relationship, that's true. And maybe, she gets the power of the mighty Thor. Maybe he lets himself go. He lets her do all the work. Whatever. I'm
super excited for this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more excited for Fat Thor and Gabe.
Fat Thor and Gabe is going to be part of Phase 5, hopefully. Maybe after the Fantastic Four, Fat Thor and Gabe, and there are many, many adventures. Come on. We have a few more people in the chat. Everybody's in disbelief that Victoria has not seen Hocus Pocus. Let's see. Ragnarok was good. Hey, Kyle. What's up, Cody? Everybody's in here. Chet's Corner, Mikey Monster. Flat. What's the next topic of the day, Victoria?
Well, See How They Run, which is a new movie starring Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan. It's going to be like a Clue-style murder mystery. And I think there's a trailer out. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah, so the trailer is out for See How They Run, which is a movie that was not on my radar up until a few weeks ago. I saw some screenshots, heard it was a murder mystery, saw that cast, and saw the cast was like, holy shit. I love Sam Rockwell. Cersei is great in Lady Bird. She's great in a lot of things.
Lovely Bones.
Lovely Bones is one of like the big ones that broke her out onto the scene. So this trailer really delighted me. I thought it looked super, super funny. I like murder mysteries. It's got that Agatha Christie style to it. So it's a thumbs up for me. I think this looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to check it out come Oscar season. Well, Gabe, what are your thoughts? Because you don't like murder mysteries, apparently.
I know. I really don't. Knives Out wasn't, a huge fan of. This seems like to be sort of like the same thing where you got people just sequestered and you can't leave this building until I solve this murder by some freaking detective. At the end, it's going to be Cersei that like just ends up killing everybody. She's the killer. That's my prediction.
The cop solving the mystery is the killer.
Of course. She's not going to solve the mystery by herself.
You have not seen one murder mystery. You've not seen one.
I've seen enough to know. That's always going to be somebody that you least expect.
No, but overall, I think the trailer looks really fun. But
somebody got killed in the den with the candlestick.
That always happens. That's Clue. What's the next topic? Let's move on.
We got another trailer.
Oh, actually, no. Wait, I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Here's the trailer. This is going to be the big movie of the summer.
Ticket to Paradise with George Clooney and Julia Roberts, who obviously I feel like are two romantic comedy legends.
Yeah. So it looks like the romantic comedy is back. Now, I told Gabe about this trailer, and he's got this huge hate on for Julia Roberts. I don't know why.
Why not?
The man has too many hot takes. But I saw this trailer, and I was completely delighted because I love those two. I think George Clooney hasn't done something like this in a very long time, and the romantic comedy is all but dead when it comes to being theatrically released. But I would say the past few months we've been getting a good amount. Like Marry Me was in theaters. We had The Lost City in theaters. And this looks like an early 2000s rom-com with two great romantic comedy legends. So I think the premise looks like perfectly fitting for them and the stage they're at in their career. It looks fun. I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, so am I. I'm excited to see it. I was going to do the hot take for it, but no, it's exciting to see these two guys in the back on the big screen together. I think what was it Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12 was the last time they did something together. So to see them, to see Julia Roberts return to the romantic comedy, which is where she got her start by the terrible Pretty Woman. But yeah.
Wait, what's your issue with Pretty Woman?
It is not. Listen, it is not believable. All right, I'm sorry. It is not a believable movie. All right, there is no way a millionaire businessman, is gonna fall in love with a hooker and take her off the streets. I am sorry.
You've seen men fall in love with strippers in the strip club. I'm pretty sure they'll fall in love with a hooker.
Listen, a strip club is different. All right, a strip club,
a sugar baby.
Listen, of course, when you go to a strip club, you know what you're expecting at a strip club. All right, I've been to many strip clubs in my lifetime. And I know what to expect when I go to a strip club. All right? There's no way a millionaire businessman is going to fall in love with a hooker. And there's no way a hooker is going to look like Julia Roberts.
You've held this grudge with Julia Roberts since Pretty Woman?
No. I just have that. I just have that issue with Pretty Woman is all. I don't mind her in like Runaway Bride or Erin Brockovich, whatever it's called. Like I don't. It's just I have an issue with Pretty Woman.
That's a shame. But no, I think this trailer looks like a lot of fun. And I'm just happy that there's more genres that we talked about. We're just like, what happened to those kind of movies? And now we see a trailer for one, and hopefully it does well, and we see more of those kind of movies.
Yeah, you know me. I love a good rom-com.
You're the king of rom-coms.
I am. I love them.
You love rom-coms.
I do.
I think this looks good. I think it gets a thumbs up from us. Now, we have a new... something that dropped today, and I had to add it to the news cycle. So what is that?
Oh, you accidentally clicked.
I did accidentally click. I spoiled it.
Cameron Diaz is coming back. She stepped away from acting in 2018, but now she's going to star next to Jamie Foxx in a movie called Day Shift. Oh, no. Yeah, Day Shift. I thought that was his old movie. Nope, that is
his old movie. The film is called Back in Action.
Back in Action. Listen, they're all the same.
I don't know about you. I'm excited that Cameron Diaz is coming back.
God.
That's somebody else that's like the queen of doing romantic comedies and early 2000s films. Something About Mary, Shrek, The Mask.
Night and Day.
Charlie's Angels, Night and Day. So like, Bad Teacher, that was what, 2012?
Right.
Yeah, 2011. So she hasn't been in anything in a very long time, and she was all but done. So it's cool that her and Jamie Foxx are starring in something together. This is a vehicle for Netflix. I don't think he has a great track record with Netflix. Most Netflix original movies aren't all that good. But hey, to bringing us back, Cameron Diaz, so I guess it counts for something. What do you think, Gabe?
It does. I just think maybe she ran out of money from her organic wine company that she's been running, so that's why she came back to act.
She came back.
No, but from what I've read, it was basically Jimmy Foxx and Cameron Diaz talking on the phone, and him trying to persuade her to get back into acting, and then he gets Tom Brady on the line, and Tom Brady's like, "Oh, well, I know a thing or two about unretiring," so that's how Jamie Foxx was able to get Cameron Diaz back.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool. It's cool that like he was able to bring her out of retirement. I like when I see actors that like I go, what happened to them? Why aren't they doing things? And they jump back into the spotlight, just like Brendan
Fraser. Look at that. We had the same guy.
Yeah, maybe we're about to see Cameron Diaz in a Cameron Diaz comeback.
Which I hope Cameron Diaz then persuades Benji Madden to bring back Good Charlotte. I want Good Charlotte back.
You want Good Charlotte back? I was listening to Good Charlotte in the car.
Listen, if Avril Lavigne and all these other emo early 2000s bands can come back, why not Good Charlotte? Let them come back.
Good Charlotte should come back. We should get Good Charlotte on this show.
We should get Good Charlotte on the show.
They should sing the Flopbuster song.
They should.
That would be great. That'd be really, really cool. What's the next topic, Victoria? I think we got some Diablo Cody news.
Yes. So, Focus Features recently announced that 2 members will be joining its upcoming film, Lisa Frankenstein. We've got Catherine Newton, who was obviously just in Freaky, and is also going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium. And then we also have Cole Sprouse, who most recently was in Riverdale. Most people my age know him for Zack and Cody. But it's going to obviously reference to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and she's going to follow the Frankenstein formula and accidentally reanimate the corpse of a young man and rebuild him to her liking. I think she's a good choice.
I like Frankenstein stories.
Victoria, I want to thank you so much for mentioning the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, because on the show notes, Tony's just wrote down, everybody knows him from I was like reading that, I'm like, no.
That's a quote from Collider. That's not me. That's why it came from Collider. It's a Collider quote. And I think he would rather be remembered for Riverdale than the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
No. I think there's a soft spot for Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
From who?
Me?
Clearly Gabe. Gabe was like one of 10 people watching that show.
Was the other one.
Which would have been weird, because I think I'm like 15 years older than Victoria. And so like if she was watching this when she was like 12, I was been like 27.
You would have been 27 watching the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Just quickly, I'm going to see what year it's premiered.
What Victoria checks on that. So I think this is a great idea. I think Diablo Cody has dipped her toes in horror before. I mean, she did rewrites on Evil Dead, which not a lot of people know. She rewrote the script for Evil Dead 2013. She obviously, Jennifer's Body is the big one. She's also a great damn writer. Juno. Right. So many things that she's been a part of, and I think this is really cool. I just like new spins on the Frankenstein mythos, so I like this cast. I think this is a good idea.
No, I like the cast as well. Both of them are very fine young actors, so I like it. And, it's another Frankenstein, story.
Yeah.
So it's all good for me.
Yeah, no, I don't know when the release date is on this, but there's not much information yet. So
not yet.
I guess it's a wait and see. But
I would guess next year, maybe.
Yeah, next year. But the Diablo Cody of it all is, to me, that's the main selling point.
Right.
So the next 2 are tied in together. We got some release date shakeups, but the one I really want to talk about is the second one. So Victoria, let's run this down real quick.
You want to talk about this? Okay, there we go. So we just talked about Dune last week and its new cast member, and now it's been announced that it was pushed a month. Yeah, I don't really know why. It's coming out alongside the other Lionsgate sequels, or Hunger Games, Universal's Trolls 3, and we've got Godzilla versus Kong Another new movie, March 15th, 2024. It's untitled so far, but it is going to come out next year.
So this is the one I want to talk about, Godzilla versus Kong sequel, which is already in pre-production, from what I know. And
Already?
I've seen some posts that apparently something is being filmed in Godzilla versus Kong related. Whether I know there's a TV show in the works at Apple, but from what I know, insiders don't know if it's the TV show or this movie being filmed, but something is being filmed related to this property.
Right.
We both enjoyed Godzilla versus Kong. We saw it together. It was a
We
fun
did.
time. I don't have much thoughts on, it was just a really fun movie. Like, there wasn't much character development, but you don't go for that movie for character development. You go for Godzilla and Kong beating the shit out of each other.
Right.
And it excites me that they're making another one of these. And my only thought is, why is it so secretive? Because I haven't heard what this movie's about, what's involved with it. All I've heard is they're making it. They're also making something related to it, and those things are in production, and that's it.
Well, listen, I think anytime you involve Godzilla, it's always going to be secretive.
Right.
I feel like every single Godzilla movie ever made has been very secretive, even back to like Matthew Broderick's Godzilla in like 97 or 98. Like I remember they never showed how the Godzilla looked. And then when they finally, when you finally saw it and you saw how it looked, everybody had an issue with it. The same thing with the new Godzilla came out. Everybody had an issue. So Godzilla has always been very secretive because of the looks, and people always hate on the way that the Americanized version of Godzilla has always looked. So that's probably why it's secretive. It's just they're trying to keep the way that he looks under wraps.
It could be, and I heard that this could involve Son of Kong. It could involve Godzilla's ancestors. Who knows what this thing is? But that was the thing that interested me the most, is that this movie is 2 years away. So clearly that they're deep in production on it. I mean, Godzilla vs. Kong was in production for a very long time.
Right. I think
sat for a long time.
What interests me though a lot is the Dune news, because I feel like they underestimate the buying power or the drawing power that's going to be Trolls 3.
Wait, I thought they made 3 of these. There's a third one coming out?
There's a third one coming out. And let me tell you, you get Anna Kendrick, Justin Timberlake as Trolls. Dude, they've if you look at their box office numbers, they put up really good numbers.
Somebody out there is buying a ticket to Trolls multiple times.
Listen, for Dune to try to go up against Trolls 3 that weekend, I don't know. It's a bad move.
Do you think Trolls 3 is going to uptake Dune 2?
Yes. Mark it down. Write it down.
I will hold you to this. There's no way in hell that it uptakes.
I will do the show shirtless if I lose this bet.
Dune 2 will be the king of the box office that weekend. If it comes out on that release date, I think it will.
It will be Trolls 3.
I don't know why.
That's the reason why it took such a big pause.
It was pushed 1 month. I'm guessing just, those movies are so technical heavy in terms of production design, and I know they're doing a bunch of things with that, and so but they're about to start shooting that soon too. So I don't think it uptakes Trolls uptakes Dune, but that's crazy.
All right.
I'm gonna hold you to it. Okay, let's move on. We have this isn't really news, but this is something. It's a TV show. Highly anticipated.
So tomorrow, this is being filmed on June 30th, for the record. So tomorrow, July 1st, technically tonight, Stranger Things 4 Volume 2 is coming out. What are you guys feeling? What's the tea? Are you excited?
Gabe, I'll let you go first. What are we thinking?
I'm excited. I've seen a lot of memes for, that Steve needs to survive or we riot. I think he needs to die. I think that a major character as big as Steve needs to die in this. I mean, I don't think they're going to kill off one of the kids.
No.
But if it's Steve or, Maya Hawke's character, maybe her, but it's one of them has to die. And everybody's favorite probably is going to die now. Eddie is probably going to die.
Eddie's dead. People obsessed with Eddie, like the guy is going to die. Like it's not even a question. But I also think the Duffer Brothers can kill off whoever they want to kill off because they created the show. So everybody going, don't kill off this or don't kill off that. The show's done. Like you're going to watch it tomorrow. whoever they kill off is who they kill off.
Right.
Like, you have no say in it, and I think it is.
Nobody better spoil that kill for me though. So just saying.
I'm gonna get up at 5 a.m. to watch this show because what was happening with Kenobi for me was I'd wait because I'm working all week. I'm so tired to watch it the day it comes out. I'm like, Thursdays are perfect for me to watch it, you know. But by the time Thursday rolls around, I go on Twitter and major news sources and articles are already posting spoilers and people quote tweeting something that was released 5 hours ago. And it's just like, well, you should have watched it or stay off the internet. But it's just like, how the fuck are you supposed to avoid something that was released only hours ago? You can't. And I'm not mad about it, but I learned my lesson with that. And especially The Boys right now, too. The Boys was a comic book I deeply loved. I only got to watch season 1 and 2, did not start watching season 3 yet with the move and everything. So I'm going to catch up on that, but I've seen some things I didn't want to see. So Stranger Things, I'm starting fresh and avoiding the internet and watching at 5 a.m. just to have a review up for the channel too.
Are you watching all episodes
I'm going to watch 5 a.m. and watching the 2 episodes that are going to be released. That's 4 hours long.
And then go to bed at 5.
We'll see what happens. But Steve is a goner. I think they're setting up for Steve to die. Especially with the Nancy, like rekindling stuff, like him and Nancy like suddenly having feelings for each other.
Are you saying Nancy or Nancy?
Nancy.
Okay, Nancy. Okay.
So him and Nancy, I don't think that's set up for like nothing. I'm pretty sure that's set up. He's going to sacrifice himself, or him getting attacked is going to create some sort of infection. Whatever it is, Steve, I think, is going to bite the dust at some point in a heroic fashion. We heard the body count is big. Eddie is dead. He's a great character, and he's been through a lot. Trust me, the dude's been through way too much this season. But I think he's dead. It doesn't matter what your feelings are that you stand over him. He's dead. But that's all my thoughts on that one. I'm excited for tomorrow, but I'm cool with whoever the Duffer Brothers want to kill off because it's their show.
It's for my.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was the same way.
Whoever's dead is already dead.
I was the same way with Game of Thrones. Like, all right, they dead.
Like Game of Thrones, it was the same way. Like I wasn't big on that last season, but at that point, the creators are going to do what the creators want to do. I'm like, I'm either going to accept it and I like it, or I don't like it, or that's it. I'm not going to protest about it, or like those crazy people that demanded the show to be rewritten. That was stupid.
I started that.
The Game of Thrones rewrites. Hopefully, people won't do that for Stranger Things, but I'm excited for tomorrow. I think it's going to be great. I think we're going to have a really, really great finale. I can't wait to see it tear up the internet and what people are going to react to it, because it's going to piss a lot of people off. It's going to make a lot of people happy. And I guarantee you it's going to end on a cliffhanger, and we're going to wait another 2 years to see what happens. But tomorrow's
another 2 years. With these kids are going to be like 30 years old in 2 years.
They're going to be 30. That kid Will, with his coconut haircut, is going to be like 40, and he's going to have the same haircut.
Freaking Steve's already playing like what, 19, 20-year-old. He's already like 32.
He's like 31 or 32, that guy, yeah. What shocked me, I thought he was younger than that. He's just got a very young face, but Steve, I think Steve bites the dust this season. I don't see how, like, none of the other characters will. I think he will. I think that doucher kid on the basketball team will. And who knows who else, but we'll see. I'm excited for somebody to die. I'm cool with it.
Me too.
So let's move on to a new segment.
That new segment, though, it is sponsored by Humix.
Yes.
We got a new sponsor for that segment. It's Humix. It's mango flavored, so it's all good.
It's great in a margarita. You can have it on the rocks, whatever it is, whatever your poison is. You could drink it virgin like Gabe, or throw it in a drink. Humix, you can find that at every corner supermarket, Walmart, anywhere near you. This episode is brought to you by them. We thank them. They gave us a lifetime supply
of Humix,
of just mango flavor. So we're very happy with that. And now we will move on to a new segment on the show called The Rumor Mill, which is something that we want to cover. So the Rumor Mill is pretty much going to be stories and whatnot that really aren't all that credible, but we want to give our thoughts on it. And there's 2 stories today that we want to talk about. One is pretty big. Excuse me, especially in the horror community. This is something that shook up people a few weeks back, was Neve Campbell obviously not being in the new Scream 6, right? She apparently told somebody at a convention and everybody lost their shit. And then it turned out she really wasn't in Scream 6. And people lost their shit again. And it's kind of, the dust has settled a little bit. The film is often filming somewhere in Toronto or Montreal. So they're filming the movie, and somebody online claims that Nev has signed on for Scream 6. I didn't believe it.
And Scream 7.
And Scream 7. I didn't believe it. I'm not sure about it. But the only credible source I do believe is there's a Twitter user that goes by the name Viewer Annan, and this guy is a master scooper leaker. Anytime there's a screening of a movie, he'll usually drop what exactly it is, say what it is. Come time of release, he's always been on the money, and he's always 100% right. He released Scream 5 details that were 100% right. Halloween Kills, Spider-Man, the Batman. So he is now echoing that Nev did sign on, and they did come down to a deal for a small role in Scream 6 that will lead to a big role in Scream 7. I think he's the only credible source so far. But Gabe, what do you think? Because we talked about this ad nauseum, I feel like, too.
Listen, I just want to say that each one of you, myself included, pat yourselves in the back a little bit, because we called this. Well, last time on one of our shows, we said, settle down. It's just rumors at this point. She's going to end up signing on. It's just, they're just working on technicalities, working on the money, working on the script. And sure enough, right? Now you get it. Yeah, she's back in it. I personally am part of the people that think let's be done with Sydney. Just move on from Sydney. Goddamn, it's like, I don't need 7 movies of Sydney. Like, I'm there for Ghostface, and who the hell Ghostface is killing. Like, leave the Sydney plot line alone. Just be done with that. Just move on already. I mean, you're bringing back Hayden Panettiere's character, Kirby. I mean, that's good enough for me. I don't need Sydney back. I don't need Gale back. Just let them go. It's done. It's done with. Just let them go.
Get over with.
What do you think? Because I know you as well like the Scream film. So what are we thinking?
I mean, I kind of agree with Gabe. I mean, I guess it's cool to have her in like cameos if it's going to be a small part in Scream 6. But I know a lot of people were saying that, like in Scream 5, it didn't feel like there was any closure, and that's why they want her in Scream 6. But I think it was like implied closure. Like when Melissa Barrera asks her, am I going to be okay? And she goes, eventually, I think something like that. And I feel like that's pretty good closure, like to me.
I'm kind of torn by all this because I am down for whatever radio silence creates, whether she's in the movie or not. We really don't know. I'm going off one person who I have seen to be a trusted source, but he could be wrong. And I don't think he's lying, but I think there's sometimes some people get things wrong, and we're not going to know until Variety, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, one of those guys says, she's in the movie, she's inked a deal, it's done. But I also think that what's the point of having Sydney back? We see that she has a life. We see that she's married and she's well off. She has kids, and she came to help one last time, pass the baton, and right off into the sunset.
Also, like, people want her back so bad, and like, I get it. But she wasn't really in Scream 5 that much.
She wasn't detrimental to the story. You could have cut her out, and it would have been the same exact movie.
Right.
Would have been the exact same movie.
You know what I would sign up for? If they did a Scream whatever, where they did kill off Sydney, and then maybe the next movie, it's like Sydney's daughter is like the next to be attacked. Like, why not continue off something like that?
Yeah, like that makes sense. And it would, like, even with like the whole Maureen Prescott thing, it would make it like generational trauma and whatnot.
Right.
I don't see the need to have her in it, but hey, I mean, those guys made a great movie. I'm excited for the next one. So if they feel the need of, no, it makes sense to put her in this story and put her in Scream 7, which I'm guessing is a thing that's happening now, according to these rumors. I'm down for it. I'm excited that there's just new Scream movies being made on a massive scale, and we're getting them pretty much every year now. So I think that's awesome. But I want to touch on another story because we've talked about Scream so much within the past few weeks because of this news, on and off, whether she's in it. I want to talk about Batgirl because that's a movie I've been pretty excited for. That's going to be airing on HBO Max. I was hoping it would get a release in theaters, but it's fine. I understand, but
that's okay.
It's okay. HBO Max seems like a perfectly good window for it to be released on. And now we've had official word from test screenings. This comes from, again, more scoopers, viewer and big screen leaks have put the word out that a screening did happen for Batgirl, and it's pretty positive so far. But this leads into some Ezra Miller stuff, so this is why I wanted to talk about it. I've heard a lot of good things about Batgirl. I forget the actress's name. She was in The Heights, and she was great in that movie. She's gonna make a great Barbara Gordon. Audience members who saw the movie, and remember, test screenings are cherry picked, so nobody knows what movie they're seeing until they're there.
Right.
They were very confused about the appearance of Michael Keaton because Michael Keaton's appearance is supposed to be in The Flash, his first time appearance back. So audience members seeing this movie were confused why he's in this universe and why it ties into what. And it has me, Leslie Grace plays Batgirl. But it just got me thinking. One, I'm happy that there's good word of mouth on this because I'm excited to see it. But two, it's just like, what do they do when they have a movie that's The Flash and it's pretty much tied into Batgirl because The Flash was supposed to come out this November. And now I'm reading word from Variety, who's got somebody on the inside saying that the film's trying to come out next June. So I want to know what what's the game plan? What are they doing? Because we have one movie that's coming out, Michael Keaton's in, that's supposed to be a follow-up to a movie coming up next year. But it's in reverse. Like, Gabe, what are your thoughts on the Ezra Miller thing? Because you were gone when we talked about it.
Somebody needs to help out that guy. Like, please. Like, you know that Jordan gift that goes around from time to time was like, stop. No.
Get some help. Yeah.
Get some help. Like, that's like what I feel like Ezra Miller needs is like that gift to be playing on his phone background at all times. Like, anytime he thinks about doing something, just look at your phone and it'd be Michael Jordan be like, stop. No. Get some help.
Yeah.
Like, somebody needs to help that young man. But there's really nothing much I could say about him at this point. I mean, he's a talented guy. I loved him and most of the stuff that he's done. Perks of Being a Wallflower, being like one of my favorite movies that he's done. But yeah, I mean, I think he's done as the Flash from all intents and purposes. But DC is really messing it up if they put out Batgirl before Flash, especially if it's tying Michael Keaton to both of them.
Right.
And his appearance is going to be talked about in the Flash, and all of a sudden you're just going to see Batgirl and Michael Keaton's there. Like, why?
And I think that's going to hurt. That hurts the movie a little bit. So I think they're going to have to do some reshoots to introduce Batman in a grander way in Batgirl. But then, like, you would have to go ahead and reshoot the Flash and reshoot the introduction sequence of him too. So I'm so excited for Batgirl. I don't think it's going to hurt the movie at all. But it is interesting how Ezra Miller, that situation directly will affect the story in Batgirl as well. So I think it's an interesting thing. And I also heard that he started a fight in Tokyo with Austin Butler. I don't know how true that story is. I just heard that on Twitter. Apparently,
he's in Tokyo now. He finally left Hawaii.
They're in Tokyo. Yeah. They're in Tokyo, and they started a fight with Austin Butler. Austin Butler punched him in the face. Who knows how true that is? But I've seen a few tweets about that. But I don't know. This Ezra Miller thing just gets crazier by the week. I feel like we're all looking at our phone, wondering what's that person up to right now? What are they up to? What are they doing?
They're crazy.
Yeah, they're in Hawaii. They're menacing Tokyo. Like, what's next? Like, he's like a supervillain. Like,
they're kidnapping Native Americans.
Yeah, they're a real life supervillain, kidnapping people, having a house full of guns with kids. Or I've read so many crazy things. I'm like, how are they working? Like, why isn't Warner Brothers actively figuring out how can we fix our movie?
Someone stop
and
them.
Like distance ourselves from this, because what the game plan seems like is that, well, let's let this blow over, and then next year when we release the movie, everybody will forget what happened this summer.
Ezra Miller's like not letting it blow over.
No, he's like taunting the police on Instagram and stuff, which is like, it's like supervillain shit.
They're the Riddler.
He's the Riddler. He's doing something.
Could they just reshoot it with Gustin from the WC Flash and just WB Flash? Like, just
I've seen a lot of people say that. I mean, it would be so costly because this movie is already $200 million, $200 million plus.
All you need to do is just like
Keep it.
Photoshop them in, and like just like the normal stuff, like in a mask, and nobody knows who the hell's under the
They
mask.
would have to do so many deep fakes in order to make that happen. But who knows? But that's the rumor mill. That was 2 stories off the top. Scream, Nev Campbell apparently back, and Batgirl apparently good, but issues with Michael Keaton and the tie-in with The Flash. So I have nothing else more to add for the show. I feel like we covered everything. Gabe, is there anything else you want to touch on before we close up?
Have either of you guys watched the Umbrella Academy?
I've seen season 1.
Okay. Well, I just finished season 3 this past weekend, and season 3 was great. I would highly recommend it. I'm not a big fan. I wasn't a big fan of season 2. In fact, I was watching the recap, and I was like, I don't remember watching most of this season, but I guess I watched it. That's how bad season 2 was. But season 3 was really, really good. Like, it got back to like season 1 levels. So I would definitely recommend catching up on the Umbrella Academy.
Right now, I feel like there's so much on TV where it's just like
There is
every week. And
I just watched nothing.
Overexhausted because I'm like, great. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I was watching that, or I forgot. Like again, The Boys, which everybody's talking about. I got to go back and watch. I try to stick up with Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel. And now Stranger Things. So there's just so much. I'm watching The Offer. I just finished that. So I feel like there's so much on TV to watch. It's just like, damn, like how the hell do people keep up? Like, how do you have all the time in the world to watch all these shows?
Listen, that's why we need to get over like 100,000 subscribers, so that way we could just stay at home and watch movies all day and just write show notes.
Yep.
Just
just
write
have
show
one-
notes, yeah.
Yeah, just have a show like every day at that point, just because we've been watching movies all day.
That would be great. I would totally do that. I think if we can get that push, it would be awesome. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and those that will tune in later to see the show. We hit 300 subscribers this month. We're at 325, I believe. 10,000, I think 10,200 views for the month of June, which is big. It's very big. There's a lot of new videos from myself. Gabe just posted his top 5 biopics, which is very good. Really cool in honor of the film Elvis. We have that up. We have new trailer reactions every week, reviews, and we're also planning a Tuesday show where we can go live and talk about pretty much anything. So there's a lot of stuff coming at you. So what I'd love for people to do is just share whatever it is to help this show grow. And I'll pass it to Gabe. Anything else you want to say before we close out?
No, just, you guys all have fun, stay healthy, take care of yourselves type situation.
Yeah. Awesome. So thank you guys for watching. I'm Tony. That's Victoria, Gabe, and this is Flopbuster.